feel like on my last video, I was complaining about how cold it was outside. It had drastically changed in temperature drop. And today, it's about a week later, and it's kind of nice again, which is nice to see. So, before I get into all the movies I watched here in August, I just wanted to give a shout out to KB over at KB Loves Movies. He had me on his conversation earlier this week, so I'll drop a link down below in case you guys missed that. But it was a really fun conversation. Um, got to know KB, he got to know me. Really, really fun chat and great live stream with a great dude. So make sure you guys check that out. All right, so let's jump into everything that I watched here in the month of August. It's again hard to believe it's September already. It's just flying by. I have my Letterboxd open in front of me, so I'll look down every once in a while because I'll give the Letterboxd rating and scores that I drop in here. But I tend to make these videos a little bit long. I watched 29 movies in August, streaming in theaters, and of course on physical media. So I'll try to run through them relatively quickly so it's not a super long video. But first up, I did watch Sorcerer. This is from the Criterion Collection. This is the 4K that came out recently. I enjoyed this one. It's got some really intense moments. Roy Scheider is really good. I give it 4 stars on Letterboxd. And I talked a little bit more about this on a Criterion live stream I did at the when did I do that? Beginning of August, I guess. Technically, that was for that because it was a post Barnes and Noble sale video. So that's Sorcerer. Again, I watched this one beginning of August. I tend to tell you the days that I watched them. I'm not going to do that. I feel like it just seems kind of silly to say, oh, I wasn't on this day. I watched that. But anyway, next up, I did check out Small Soldiers again. This is on 4K. It's a beautiful steelbook. I love this thing. Really good movie. This is another one I gave 4 stars on Letterboxd. I had never seen it before. It was a first time watch. I don't know why I didn't check this one out in theaters. This came out in late 90s. But really a fun action movie. It's directed by Joe Dante, who did Gremlins. So, I don't know, really cool, fun movie here in Small Soldiers. So, if you haven't checked this out, I highly recommend it. I feel like I was probably kind of late to the game on that one. I feel like a lot of people probably did check that one out. I also watched Mac and Me. So this is the Vinegar Syndrome release here. I liked it for kind of a cheap ET ripoff. I thought this was a really kind of fun movie. There's a really good laugh in here when the kid goes flying off the cliff. It's just a terrible scene, but overall, this was kind of a fun movie. If you guys have seen Mac and Me, just let me know down in the comments what you thought of it because I thought it was a lot of fun. And again, Vinegar Syndrome put out a really nice looking box set here. And then I also finally watched Green Room. I've been waiting on this one. I don't know why I sat on this one for so long. I have this really great Second Sight edition. I like Anton Yelchin, another actor gone way too soon. Died really young a few years back. But this is a really good movie. Anton Yelchin, like I said, he's really good. Imogen Poots is good. You got Patrick Stewart in here, and he kind of plays a bad guy, which I feel like is not like him. But this was a really good movie. I gave this 4 stars on Letterboxd as well. Really good, intense kind of. It's horror-esque. It's not really a horror film. I feel like it's more of like a thriller, but just some really nice elements in this one. All right. After checking out Green Room, I went and saw Weapons in theater. I did a full review of this on the channel. I'll drop that link down below so you can check that out. But fantastic movie. Just a wild movie, but really good. I gave it 5 stars. It's going to be in my top 5 this year. I there's a few months left in the year here, but overall, I really enjoyed it. It was a great horror thriller movie. More horror toward the beginning, and then kind of more thriller mystery, toward the last half of it or so. But overall, Weapons is a fantastic movie. I enjoyed Weapons so much that when I got home, I decided to watch Zach Cregger's Barbarian, which came out a few years ago on Netflix, and I don't know, I just sat on it and never watched it before. I liked it. It's another wild movie. I gave it 4 stars. I didn't like it necessarily as much as Weapons, but it's a really good, really bizarre movie. I can't wait to see what he does next. I had mentioned it in my Weapons review how he did Miss March back in like 2009. Completely different movie from these two. So just a very interesting trajectory from his career of doing Miss March and some of these comedies to these really wild and crazy horror movies. Next up, I watched the 4K of The Long Kiss Goodnight. I hadn't watched this one in a long time, and an Arrow released this in 4K, so I picked it up and I watched it. I love this movie. This is another 4-star movie for me. Gina Davis and Samuel L. Jackson are fantastic in this, and it's just a great action movie from the 90s that I absolutely love. And I highly recommend, if you have not checked this out, give it a watch. It's a lot of fun. Next up, I checked out Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World. This was a first-time watch for me. I have the steelbook here, really nice looking. I gave this movie 4.5 stars. I really, really thought this was good. Nice, epic, kind of action drama. Russell Crowe is fantastic. Paul Bettany is really good in this as well. It's a little bit of a slow burn at times, but the action scenes with the ships battling it out was a lot of fun to watch, and just a really, really cool spectacle. So I thoroughly enjoyed Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World. So if you haven't, again, check that one out. I know the steelbook sold out pretty quick. Hopefully it comes back in stock in case anybody missed it. Next up, I checked out Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I picked this Blu-ray up at Big Lots. Big Lots is back. I did a little video for that recently, but grab this at Big Lots. This was recommended to me on a podcast that I did sometime, I think it was last year or the year before, the Stuff We Love podcast. I think I mentioned that, and this was recommended by Mike, an old high school buddy who was on that podcast with us. So really, really good. What did I rate this one? I gave this one 5 stars. Yeah, I really thought this was good. It's got elements of comedy and drama, but I think it's mostly a drama, but it's really funny as well. There's a whole like filmmaking aspect in it with the two kids. I don't even know their names, and I'm not even gonna try to read the back of this, but these two guys here, here, they like do like little short videos, and it's just really funny what they show off in this. But overall, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl is a great movie. I do recommend this one. If you haven't, check it out. It is at Big Lots if you have one in your area. I know they're few and far between at this point, but definitely recommend checking that one out. Next up, I wanted to rewatch this one because I was getting ready to check out the sequel. So I rewatched Nobody. I absolutely love this movie. I gave this 5 stars, and I saw it in theaters when it came out. I think it was right around COVID. I think it was COVID year or the year after, 2020, 2021, something like that. I can't remember if we had to wear masks or anything, but just a really good movie. You wouldn't think Bob Odenkirk would be an action star, but here he's kicking ass. You got Christopher Lloyd in here running around with his shotgun. Just a really fun action movie. I absolutely love Nobody. All right, so there was bound to be one that I wasn't too crazy about, and I didn't talk about it in July because I did this as a live stream in July with Dave, Collector Movie Man, so I didn't go through everything I watched in July, but my wife and I are working our way through Justin Timberlake movies. She's a big Justin Timberlake fan, so we had been watching a lot of his stuff this year, and we watched The Love Guru. It's a Mike Myers film. Justin Timberlake is in it. I gave it a 0.5 star, and that's generous. It's not a good movie. I'm not sure I laughed once. Not Mike Myers' best in my opinion. But yeah, The Love Guru was just not a very good movie in my eyes, and I gave that one a half a star on Letterboxd. Next up, I watched this on Texas Chainsaw Day. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I have the 4K Steelbook here. I know there's a really awesome Second Sight edition of this, but I found out about Second Sight long after that one sold out. So I have this one. I got this at Best Buy a few years ago. Really good movie. I give this 4.5 stars. Yeah, I give this 4.5 stars. I mean, it's borderline 5 stars. Let's just be honest. It's such a classic horror movie, and it's one that I kind of want to watch and revisit at least every year, to kind of keep it fresh, because it's such a good movie. So I give it 4.5, but we're gonna round that up and we're gonna give that a 5-star review. And then I checked out Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I had never seen this one before. I have this edition from Vinegar Syndrome, and I liked it. Dennis Hopper is pretty friggin' wild in this one. I gave this 3 stars. Yeah, I gave this one 3 stars on Letterboxd. Yeah, I don't know. I had never seen this one. The only other one I think I'd seen outside of the original and the '03 remake was Next Generation with McConaughey and Renee Zellweger. So, and that's one I kind of want to rewatch again. So I got to work my way through this franchise again. But that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. No, sorry. That's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with 3 stars. All right, so after Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the next day after that, I actually went to the movies. I took a few days off of work, but I went and did a triple feature in the movie theater, and I saw Nobody 2. I really enjoyed this one. It was a great follow-up to the first one. I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd. Odenkirk was good in it again. Christopher Lloyd was really good in it again. I thought it was a really fun action sequel. So I recommend checking out Nobody 2 if you haven't already. I didn't do a full review on that on my channel here, but definitely check out Nobody 2, especially if you're a fan of the first one. All right, after Nobody 2, I went down, or took about an hour break. Then I saw the Naked Gun reboot. Way better than I expected it to be. I really did not have high hopes for the Naked Gun. The original with Leslie Nielsen, really the original 3 with Leslie Nielsen, are so good and so fun. I just did not expect anything good from this. I didn't know how Liam Neeson was going to be, but I ended up enjoying it more than I thought, and I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was funny. I people have been saying they were like laughing out loud the entire time. I think it had its moments. I don't think it was as good as the original, but I think it was still a pretty solid, I guess technically 4th entry into the Naked Gun franchise. So I did like it. I do recommend you checking it out. I'd be curious to see what everybody else thinks of the Naked Gun. And then the third movie I saw that day in theater was Hell House LLC Lineage. I gave it 2 stars. I really was not a fan of this one. I watched the first 4 back in January, and they were kind of all over the place. Forget which one. Origins or Carmichael Manor, I think, was the best one. I think I gave that one the best rating when I rated those ones on Letterboxd. But Lineage, I didn't like it. I didn't like what they were trying to do with it, and it got a little confusing. They were just mashing a little bit too much into that one. So I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. So that rounded out my triple feature at the movie theater. And then later that night when I got home, I started my journey down the Conjuring universe, and I watched the first Conjuring. These are all first-time watches for me. I had not checked them out. I really like this one. I gave it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. What's his name? Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga are really good in this. Ghost horror movies, to me, are probably the scariest. This one really got me. I think, very chilling. Hairs were standing up on the back of my neck at times. Really solid horror movie with The Conjuring. I watched these in release order. pretty much all in a row. There was one movie that's in between, but after The Conjuring, I did check out Annabelle, and that one I watched within this 7 film set. My friend lent me this one. I have a few of the other movies already on Blu-ray, but I didn't have all of them, so he lent me this one. So I checked out Annabelle in this set here. I gave it 2.5 stars. It wasn't really that good. Some good jump scares, a little bit creepiness with the doll, but for the most part, not as good as The Conjuring. So that was Annabelle with 2.5 stars. Then I watched Conjuring 2, which that one I actually have. So that's this one I liked as well. I gave this 3.5 stars. I thought this was a good follow up to the first Conjuring movie. You get some aspects of the nun, which obviously shows up in her own movies, but I enjoyed this one as a sequel to The Conjuring. Not, it's better than Annabelle. I'll give it that. 3.5 stars for The Conjuring Part 2. Next up after Conjuring 2 is Annabelle Creation. So I jumped back into the 7 film set for that one. That's another one. I actually liked Annabelle 2, or Annabelle Creation, I like better than the first movie, the first Annabelle movie. I give it 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. I think it was a little bit creepier than the first one, and it had Anthony LaPaglia in it. He did a great job. So I wish he was in a little bit more, but he was good in Annabelle Creation. Then I took a break from these. Yep, I took a little break from the horror movies, and my wife and I watched Smiley Face. Mainly because of John Krasinski. We're big John Krasinski fans. I actually did not like this movie. This is from Dark Star, released through Vinegar Syndrome. I gave it 1 star. It's a stoner movie, and I don't know if that humor really hits with me. But yeah, like I said, we like John Krasinski, and we watched it for him. Unfortunately, it just was not a movie that either of us really enjoyed very much. So that is Smiley Face with 1 star there. And then I jumped back into the Conjuring universe and watched The Nun, which I do have that one on Blu-ray here. I remember seeing the trailer for this in theaters, and it freaked me out pretty good. I gave it 3 stars. Yeah, I gave this one 3 stars on Letterboxd. I enjoyed it more than I thought. It hadn't gotten very good reviews. I had seen some other Letterboxd reviews, and people weren't really high on this one. But I don't know. I thought it was all right, and it stars Vera Farmiga's sister. Let me see if I can get her name real quick. Thaisa Farmiga. I'm not sure how to pronounce their last name, but I thought it was kind of cool that they brought her in to play like the young nun, and not the scary nun, but she's the nun that goes in and investigates the happenings that are going on. But that's 3 stars. I enjoyed that one pretty much. Still better than Annabelle. I feel like, I don't know why I didn't like Annabelle that much. But next up was the Curse of La Llorona. So this one is not really. It's in the universe. It's not part of the 7 film set, but it is tied to the movies with the priest from the first Annabelle. He makes an appearance in this one, so that's kind of how it ties together. This one was all right. No, it wasn't. I'm just kidding. I gave it 1.5 stars. It had some good jump scares, but overall I wasn't really crazy about the story. Who is the actress Linda Cardinelli is in it. She did a good job, but yeah, I don't know. Just the story, I feel like didn't really do much for this one. So 1.5 stars for the Curse of La Llorona, and then jumped back into the 7 film set for Annabelle Comes Home. This one I thought was really good. I gave it 3.5 stars. It takes place in the house of the Warrens. It had a lot of really good haunted house feel to it, so I enjoyed it. I gave it, like I said, 3.5 stars for that one. And I don't know if they're going to do any more Annabelles, but the two sequels were better than the first one. So if they do another one, maybe it'll kind of stay with that trend of being better. After Annabelle Comes Home, I jumped into The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. I feel like there was a little bit of wasted potential with this one. I think it could have been way better. I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. I don't know. It just, the story to me was a little bit, I don't know. It wasn't as like ghost story-esque as the first few Conjuring. So I think that one kind of took me out of it a little bit. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was the strongest of the actual Conjuring movies. So I gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. So that wrapped up the physical media side of the Conjuring universe. And then I ended up renting the Nun II on Amazon because it's not part of the 7-disc set and I don't have the Blu-ray for that one. So the Nun II I did not like. I gave it 1.5 stars. It kind of negates something that they show in one of the Conjuring movies, so it just didn't make any sense as far as the timeline of this whole universe. So I think it kind of threw everything off, and I don't really think it needed to be made, or it should have just ended differently. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it should have just ended a different way. It should have ended with what they showed in the Conjuring movie, because there is like a snippet in the Conjuring movie, I believe it's in the first one, that references a character in the Nun movie. So I think that would have been a better route to go if they had just tweaked that ending. I probably would have liked it a lot more. All right, and then after that, finishing up the Nun universe, I had wanted to check out The Cell from Arrow. I picked this up during the recent Barnes & Noble sale, so I rewatched this one. I hadn't seen it in a while. The 4K looked alright. I thought the sequences where they were, the dream sequences should have looked a lot better in 4K. And I was a little disappointed by that. I thought they still look good. Don't get me wrong. This movie looks great. 4K looks fantastic. I just thought the dream sequences with all the bright colors and stuff should have looked a little bit better, but overall this movie is a mind fuck. Vincent D'Onofrio is fantastic in this movie. It's such a dark character for him, but he's so good. Jennifer Lopez is really good. Even Vince Vaughn is great. Just a fun movie from, I think, when did this come out? 2000? Either 99 or 2000. I think it was 2000. But yeah, I highly recommend checking out The Cell if you haven't. It's really, really trippy. I don't know if I said it, but I give this one 4 stars on Letterboxd. I really, really like it. And then to round out August, I have 2 more left. I did a double feature. I rewatched Sin City. Love this movie. 5 stars on Letterboxd. I've always been a fan of this movie. I love the style. It's very comic booky. I love the cast in it. Everybody's great. Bruce Willis, Jessica Alba. Who else is in this? Clive Owen. I mean, it's just got a stacked cast. Elijah Wood, Rutger Hauer, Powers Booth. Just, I don't know. You could just go on and on. Michael Clark Duncan. A lot of actors that we lost in the past decade or so. But really, really enjoyed Sin City. Benicio del Toro. Forgot about him. Rosario Dawson. Yeah, they're all in the back here. Just a really fun comic book movie from Robert Rodriguez. And then after that, I had checked out Sin City: A Dame to Kill For, which I had never seen. This one I was not as crazy about. I think it took a steep drop off from the original. I gave this 2 stars on Letterboxd. I don't know. The Joseph Gordon-Levitt story in here I thought was the weakest. I didn't really think it needed to be in here. I never read the comic on that one that it's based on, but I didn't really like that story. Still a good cast. Mickey Rourke, I forgot to mention Mickey Rourke in the first one. He returns in this. Bruce Willis, Jessica Alba come back. Clive Owen does not return. He's replaced by Josh Brolin, and it is explained as to why there's a little bit of a character difference there. Rosario Dawson is back. Unfortunately, Michael Clark Duncan had died, so he was replaced by Dennis Haysbert, and Brittany Murphy, who was in the original one, had passed away as well. They actually did not recast her. They didn't put her character back in this one out of respect for her. I don't know why they did that. They didn't do that for... Well, I guess I know why they didn't do it for Michael Clark Duncan, because the Minute character was pretty integral to the storyline here. So they replaced him with Dennis Haysbert. But yeah, overall, steep drop off from the first Sin City, and just not as big of a fan of that one. So that's it. That is everything I watched in the month of August. Again, the weapons review, I'll drop that down below. The conversation with KB over on his channel, I'll drop that down below so you could check that out. Let me know what you guys have been watching in the month of August down in the comments below. I hope you liked this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this out with your movie-loving friends. I'm on Letterboxd, Instagram, and Facebook. All of the links to those social media platforms will be down in the description as well. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.